Welcome to Black History Month, y'all. My name is Stephanie L, and thank you for watching my channel. So this month I wanted to do something a little bit different. It's Black History Month, and I normally go with Black History colors, so like red, green, yellow, and black, but I didn't want to do that this month solely for the fact of I wanted to try different themes within my journal, and I wanted to try different art techniques within my journal. So I did something that kind of just, even though this isn't like Black history for everybody, this is a little bit of history for me. When I was younger, my dad used to take us to every single carnival that there ever was. Like, if there was a carnival in my city, he was taking us to it. We were getting day passes and we were riding everything, and then people were going to guess his age and his weight, and they were going to get it wrong every single time. I remember one time the man at the little guessing booth got so upset that he kept getting it wrong. I think they give themselves like 3 times to get it right, and if they don't get it right, then you win a prize. And the guy was just like, what? And so he asked to see my dad's ID, and my dad gave him his ID, and the dude was just completely wrong. But those are some of the fond memories that I have. So I wanted to show that off in my journal, just as a way for me to kind of reconnect with my history and reconnect with my roots. So the cover page that you see over there, that's just the first part. I used Distress Oxides, and they have a very neat property when they get wet. So they kind of, I don't want to say dissolve, but they kind of take away some of the color a little bit without damaging the paper or without damaging the rest of the design. So it distresses, I guess that's why it's called that. It distresses your design a little bit and just gives you a unique kind of look. So here I am, I'm drawing in my Ferris wheel with my little cars. So the setting is sometime, it's evening, it's going from dark to night, and you can see this from really far off. So the idea is that you see the Ferris wheel and that you see the cars, but you don't necessarily see the colors. It's just kind of like the shadow. So, and then it fades into night. So I'm going to draw on these little connecting pieces for the Ferris wheel, and then we're going to get into the really unique properties of Distress Oxides. So I'm dabbling water onto these Distress Oxides, and the longer you let them stay up there, the more it lifts up the color. And after after you get the effect that you want, you just dab it off with a paper towel. So you see the little white spots, that's where the color was lifted using that water. So I'm just going to fill in everything with like some gold dots and some white dots. They were supposed to be stars, and then I recognized that, hey, it's only evening, you probably wouldn't see this many stars, but you know what, this is my world of pure imagination, and we see stars whenever we want to see them. So evening, transferring from dark to light, or from light to dark, we gonna see the stars as soon as they pop out. So my saying for this month is, energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transferred. And for, if you don't know, that is the first law of thermodynamics. And it's pretty, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but I always got a little bit more meaning out of that than just the transfer of energy. Like, there's more energy out there than just mechanical energy and heat energy and all that. Like, when you just think about the ebbs and flows of life, you cannot create energy, you cannot destroy energy, you can only change the energy. And I think that puts it on us specifically within our own lives. It gives us a little bit more agency in what happens and what happens to us. Things just don't happen a lot of times. Sometimes it does, I'm not going to take away from that, but a lot of the times what happens to you is a product of what you put in your life and what you take out of your life. I feel like that saying just gives us a little bit more agency in what we can do for our lives. And for me, this whole year, Genesis is just about changing things, and and I have an active part in doing that for myself. So that's why I chose that for this month. Here I've gone over to my calendar. I chose 4 different Tombows, 1 pink, 2 purples, and a blue. The idea was that the purples would transition from a pinky reddish purple, so go from pink to the pinky reddish purple to the blue to the blue purple and then go to blue. I think my two purples were a little too close in color for that to really be seen. Like, you can see a difference in those purples, but not as big of a difference as I would have wanted. So something that I'll have to think about next time. There are only 108 Tombow colors, which are a lot, do not get me wrong, but in terms of color values, sometimes there isn't a lot of difference between colors, and that's something that you know, if you choose some stuff that's a little too close, then you know, that's kind of on you. I could have swatched it beforehand to see if I had something that kind of worked, but I like the colors that I chose. So something else that I have on my agenda, I'm always working on what my brush lettering looks like and what my calligraphy looks like. I used to be a lot better at this, but out of practice you kind of lose it, and I'll be honest, I don't take my time to write things out all the time. So I have, you know, I feel like I'm a lot better with faux calligraphy. So the idea is that you write out whatever you're going to write anyway, and then go back and thicken the downstrokes. Yeah, or you thicken the downstrokes. So that's what I did with this, and I tried to use all four of my colors. So I wrote February out, and then I'm going back and I'm thickening those downstrokes. So I'm using the fine tip part of my marker to do that. So I think it looks okay from far off. I probably should have written this with a pencil first to make sure that it fit on my page and that my letters just weren't like all crazy sized and whatnot. Like, I started off with the F and the E looking, you know, relatively okay, and then my B kind of went out there a little bit and it kind of threw the rest of everything off. But it is what it is. The only person who has to look at this, you know, for the rest of the month is me. I'm hoping that I inspire you to recreate this better than I am. Like, my big thing is I am not like a real artist. I am a play artist. So I like to play with colors. I like to play with ink. But when it comes to making something that's really, really beautiful and whatnot, I'm gonna let the people who are, you know, who have tried and done this for years claim that. I'm just in y'all's world. Y'all, you know, this is y'all's. So I'm doing the same thing with my distress oxides. I know most people don't color in their calendars, but I wanted to color mine in, and what I'm going to do is for all the events that I have this month, I'm just going to write it in with white ink. Normally I color around on the outside of the calendar, so I thought this would kind of be a little bit different. So this is my meal planner spread. I will say I lost some of the footage. I thought I was recording when obviously I wasn't. So I have the Ferris wheel and I have the clouds drawn in, but you've already seen me do that, and you're seeing me draw the clouds now. I actually had to go watch a tutorial on how to draw clouds because I was struggling to get like different shapes. What I should have done was what I did here, which is sketch out the shape of the cloud and then draw around it. But I thought that I just had the visual ability to just, you know, see it in my mind and draw it, and my hand doesn't listen to my head, at least not when it comes to drawing things. So I should have sketched it out first, and that's why these new clouds are looking a lot better. So the tutorial that I saw on YouTube, I know it was a cloud tutorial, it was like a doodle tutorial. I think it was from Amanda Ratchley. I will have to go find it so that I can link it, but it was from Amanda Ratchley, and she had a tutorial on how to draw clouds from like a spread that she did years ago. So I think it's gonna work out for me here. I have all my oddly shaped clouds, and the way that this works is each cloud is going to be a different day. These are going to be all the odd days in February, which there are 29 because it's a leap year. So and for all the even days, I'm just going to write them in the sky. That way it keeps the page from being too cluttered, and I don't have to commit to only having a meal that fits within the clouds. And I know sometimes I like skip over days in planning, so some of the clouds are small just in case I forget those days. And then the good thing is that in the sky I have so much space to write out everything it is that I'm doing, so I should be relatively good. And then of course I have my Ferris wheel down there on the left side of the spread. So I'm going to trace each one of these clouds with the different colors that I chose. on my other spreads, the whole sky was the cloud, and the whole sky was the cloud. So I forget what cloud formation that is, and maybe I'm being a little too technical trying to make it like too close to real life, and that's why everything is like working and not working. But this way I can still have purple clouds, I can still have pink clouds, but it's not the whole sky. And it just gives a different look to what I'm doing in the journal. Didn't want to have to ink in every single page every single time. I like the way I did it for the cover page, but I don't, in order to get to the real nitty gritty of planning, at least for me, I wanted to keep my other pages kind of sparse in that sense, because, well, and here I am drawing in my cars. So in February, I'm not sure, I love to say that I'm trying to plan more healthy meals. I really am. And it comes with planning. Like, we've eaten a lot more salads. We've eaten a lot more, we've eaten a lot more like home cooked meals than we have, like in the past. And I'm talking about, when I say home cooked, I mean like actually like cooked from scratch, not like came from a box. Which, don't get me wrong, like that's how a lot of stuff is done. A lot of people don't do stuffing from scratch, but if you do stuffing from Stover's box, like, that is my favorite stuffing, don't get me wrong. But I'm trying to do more stuff straight up from scratch, and the planning helps with that, because then I can go get the food, and then I don't know if y'all like me, but I am the type of person where if I forget to defrost the chicken, I will go buy new chicken and keep the frozen chicken in the house and just go buy new chicken from the store. I can't be the only person who does that. Okay, I'm going to my next spread, which is my sleep tracker. Normally, I don't track my sleep, but I've been having some weird sleep cycles this go around, so I just wanted to track them and keep myself, trying to figure out why my sleep cycles are the way that they are. I'm hoping by tracking anything that gets tracked gets looked at, or you start to kind of figure stuff out about it. So I'm hoping that by tracking it, I can figure out, like, am I not working out enough that day? Am I not, like, getting enough rest? Am I not exercising enough that day so that I'm not tired? Am I stressed out that day and it's causing me to sleep funky? Like, what's going on that day that's, messing up with my sleep? And, like, am I waking up super early? These are the kind of questions that I'm asking myself this month. And normally, like I said, I don't track this, but like, I've always been a person where as soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm asleep. So like, I don't know if I fall asleep while my head is like falling towards the pillow. I just never had problems. So to be having these issues as of late has been slightly concerning to me. So here I am drawing my habit trackers. So this is a good way to have like two things in one spread. I have my sleep tracker, and I also have, well, I guess it's just a tracker. I guess you're just tracking it different kind of ways. Like, some people just have a calendar where they track stuff off, and that's what my clouds are. And then here I have this big Ferris wheel, which is a big visual representation of tracking my sleep. So yeah, if anything, just do, it's two different modes of tracking on one page, but it's a good way to use a whole spread to do your trackers without everything having to be so Excel for lack of a better word. So this is my last spread for the video. I am doing my first week of February. The way that I normally do my months is that whichever month has more days in the last week, that will be the month that has the first couple of days of the next month. So January had more days in the last week of January in January. So I tracked the last couple of months of the first couple of days in February within January, so that my first full week of February will be starting on the 4th. So that's what I'm showing here. Actually, like, if you see where my line was a little bit darker over there, that came from me using this protractor to do all my lines. So I use black ink, I use pink ink, I use purple and blue ink, so the line came out a little dark. But the good thing about watercolor markers is that if you take the marker and just color on it even though the nib might be stained, the color will flow the color that it's supposed to be. And yes, that was my baby's hand. They took some of my markers and started coloring while they were on, while they were off to the side. She did give me my colors back. I'm just happy that my kids like to do other things that aren't just being on their tablets all day. Like, I know as a parent, that's something that I have to encourage. And so when they see me doing something that's not sticking my nose in my phone, because I realize that I am the bad behavior that they have, then it encourages them to do other things as well. So I'm glad that they like to take their markers out and they like to color, and I'm glad that they like to come over with mommy and they like to see mommy color and color with mommy as well. These are the things that I think are going to mean a lot to me once they get out of this stage and they get into the whole they have friends stage, and I'll be like, oh, I remember when it was just, when your best friend was me. But kids grow up. My husband brought me in some flowers while I was doing this, so I just wanted to show them off because these are going directly on my craft desk as a reminder of my hubby after this video. And I've been working on preserving my table flowers a lot longer. I'm not good at them. Sometimes they just die and they just stay in that vase. I'm not gonna lie. So here's my final flip through, my cover page and my mini calendar. And then I'm going to show you the actual calendar with all my events. Thank you for watching the video today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so for more of this content. I do a monthly calendar I do my bullet journal every month, but I also do cards and other stuff on this channel. So just all around, just crafty fun. I also have a list of everything that I used in the video down below in the description. So if you want to use any of the things, like, for instance, these distress oxides, there you go. And like I said, thanks for watching. I will see you guys next week with a new crafty video.